Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Game Dojo. This is 24K movies, TV shows, and video game reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome aboard. We got a lovely one for you today. We had a chance to check out something over 30 years in the making, a sequel that probably was never meant to be, but it finally came to be. And it's not what we thought of it and what you thought of it. It's what came to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want you to sit back, relax with your favorite bag of snacks, maybe some popcorn, maybe some Gatorade, maybe some Powerade, and let's jump into the review of Beetlejuice. First of all, it's always bothered me that Beetlejuice in the movie is spelled Beetlegeist, but it's Beetlejuice because of the space thing. Even though it's spelled Beetlejuice this way, like it's drink. It just always puzzled me. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what did we think of this movie? Well, there is a lot to unpack, a lot to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the trailer. We're going to come back here and then I'm going to unpack it for you, just what we thought of the movie. And it is a spoiler review. So if you don't want spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, tune out after the trailer. But other than that, stay tuned because we're going to give it to you. Not bought, not paid for, just 100% by us, for you. So let's go check out the trailer and we'll be right back. It's actually amazing that I'm wearing this my Xbox swag right here, and it's green and white, and Beetlejuice's, you know what I'm saying, colors is like green and white. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get on to the trailer.
When you're all driving carpool and banging your Pilates instructors to fill the empty voids in your life, we'll see who gets the last laugh.
La 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 la.
My mom grew up here, that old house on the hill.
Like the ghost house? Is your mom Lydia Dietz?
Unfortunately,
She's a legend.
the living, the dead, can they coexist?
Now's my chance.
Ghosts aren't real. Only gullible people believe that kind of crap.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I need you to help me save my daughter. And how do I know that you're going to keep your word?
I swear I'm a dead mother's days. Bob, you and the boys stand guard. Nobody gets through. Let's go, honey.
Recognize this post.
Never seen that chick before in my life. Or afterlife.
We doing this?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I'm needed upstairs. Bob, go down the floor. Spill your guts. Who wants to go first? All right, I will. See, I'm willing to do the work.
You're that thing from my dream.
Really more nightmare material.
Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears. There's nothing harder.
What the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we back. That was Beetlejuice. You saw the trailer. We got some popcorn on standby. The nightmare creature stopped by and delivered some Act 2 from me and you. I guess it wouldn't be a popcorn. I guess it wouldn't be a good review without some popcorn. So, extra buttery. So, Beetlejuice. Gotta hit the popcorn one more time. You like that? Some ASMR? Popcorn chewing? Alright. So, good, bad, ugly. First of all, let's get rid of, because there was a lot of positive. Let's get rid of the bad. Let's take care of the bad first. All right. Not everybody could be involved on this project. Charles Dietz being the glaring one. If you don't know, the actor had some issues in real life, to say the least. So he could not be in this movie, but he was in this movie. They found an interesting way to include him. Him being bitten in half without a head was pretty funny. Having said that, the Maitlands weren't involved in this movie either, so you didn't have Baldwin or Davis because they didn't want to rehash the same story over and over and over again, which I get. Not lost on me. Having said that, Jenna Ortega being brought on as Astrid, Monica Bellucci being brought on as the former ex-wife of Beetlejuice. Can we have a moment of respect for Bob? Yeah, Bob shouldn't have gone. Bob was going too soon. So, I expected more. I know it sounds funny, but I expected more. The only thing I hear about popcorn is holes. Somebody can make holeless popcorn. Billionaire idea. So, it felt like somebody watched the Beetlejuice cartoon, all 4 seasons, and came up with an idea for a storyline. Because the whole basic story, in a nutshell, is Charles died. Beetlejuice saw his chance to come back into Lydia's life with her daughter Astrid. And there we go. There's your story. Delia Dietz was her stepmom. So her actual father, Charles, not in the movie. Well, it kind of is. Okay. I'm not quite sure if this is bad or good, but we got to get it out the way. I got to hit 2 more pieces of popcorn for this because this is going to be a bad one. Strap in. All right. Y'all ready? I'm going to go there. Oh, I'm going to go there. We can get into some gangster shiz. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? There is a scene in this Beetlejuice movie. So the trope is that Tim Burton never uses black people. He never uses black characters. He never uses black people in any of his endeavors. And he answered in any way somebody who makes a movie can answer. There is a scene in this movie where people are ferried from the afterlife to their point of destination from a device known as the Soul Train. And they make mention of the Soul Train first. And if you're over a certain age, you instantly was like, Soul Train? Like that black TV show? That dance show? That was so popular? Nah, he wouldn't. Yeah. He goes there. So the next scene, you're treated to a bunch of Soul Train dancers popping and locking and dancing on this train's platform. Afros, bell bottoms, butterfly collars, the whole 9. And to be totally honest, I am unsure how to feel over that. Some of me felt offended. Some of me felt that might have been in poor taste. Some of me felt, it's kind of interesting. I was ambivalent. I had a lot of emotions conflicting me in that moment. And then the train conductor stuck his head out, who's clearly supposed to be Don Cornelius. God rest his soul. Stuck his head out with the afro yelling all aboard. And I'm like, ooh, Tim. And they have this soul funk music playing in the background while all these black people are dancing in these old school uniforms with old school hairstyles, while tons of Caucasian people are getting on the train and being ferried. Like, I didn't see none of the Soul Train dancers getting on the train, and I was just like, sorry, are they there to greet you, to send you off? I'm not understanding the Soul Train thing, man. I'm really not understanding. I mean, I dig you had a premise for the Soul Train, but did it have to be the Soul Train with black dancers? And instantly in that scene, that was probably the only scene in the movie where I was just like, ooh, people are not gonna dig this. Like, the comedian in me was like, this is pretty fucking funny, because he's always getting, you never have black people in your movies. And this was his answer. I 100%, that is not an oversight. That is not oversight. He thought this. He thought this. When the premise of Soul Train came up, I guarantee you his mind went to this, because he's always being asked, hey, why don't you have any black people in your movies? Look, I don't know the guy's ideals. I don't know the guy's beliefs or premises. I dig his movies. I'm fully unbiased about that. I can separate the artist and the art. I still like R. Kelly songs. I don't have to like R. Kelly. 100%. So, that scene is the only scene in this movie that I know is going to be very controversial amongst a lot of people. I expect some blowback. I haven't heard it yet. Maybe a couple people on TikTok. I've seen a few videos, but I haven't seen it glaring yet. Like, when this comes to stream or out on DVD, it's probably going to have a bigger blowback, because not too many people went to the movies to see Beetlejuice. But how much can shock you in today's society? They admitted aliens are alive and real. They declassified UFO videos. There's cloud seeding, atmospheric rivers, El Nino, Chupacabra. What else can really shock you, right? Certainly not a Soul Train scene in a Beetlejuice movie. But it did. I know I'm spending a little bit of time on it, but it deserves. It's noteworthy. It's there. I didn't put it there. I did not put it there. He put it there. I'm just talking about it. That's the only bad I have about this movie. The plot was very generic. I expected more. I think the original plot for Beetlejuice Part 2 was like he went to Hawaii or something. Can I ask y'all a question? Back in the day, old school movies, like sequels, why was Hawaii always the go-to for the sequel? Like, every time they made a movie or a Part 2 or a sequel, it was always goes to Hawaii or Tropical Vacation or some shit. Why is that the go-to for the sequel? I never got that. Anyways, the story in a nutshell is mother, daughter, granddaughter dynamic, with a peppering in of Beetlejuice. And I have to say it, Michael Keaton steals the show. Again, he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he didn't in the original movie either. And it's not about just screen time, it's about how you use it. If he had been in more scenes, he would have probably been overbearing and annoying. And that's not what you want. Less is always more, especially when it comes to a character like Beetlejuice. He's the same energy and intensity as he was before, but there was a couple of scenes where I could see through the makeup that Michael Keaton is an aged actor. And I'm not going to lie, it hurt a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the popcorn down for a second, because we need to talk about that. We need to get serious for a minute. I'm going to hit the A real quick. All right. Now, I salute all of our actors. I grew up on a host of real actors, classically trained, methodical in their endeavors, on screen, off screen, theater, accomplished, went to acting school. They had acting chops. I grew up on actual thespian actors. And it's sad that we've come to a point in the world that most of these favorite actors are aged out of parts and aged to the point where they can no longer physically do some of the things that we want them to do. And that's a very sad reality, because we get so used to them being there to entertain us that we forget sometimes that they're real people with real problems and they have real lives. Having said that, just recently we lost James Earl Jones, and his voice is the voice of a generation. Another voice of a generation silenced that I grew up on, that if your head was turned and your eyes were closed, you could recognize a voice. Michael Jackson, James Brown, Prince, Barry White, James Earl Jones. They're voices of generations that you can hear and recognize and know from a split second who that voice is. And they're all gone now. And it's rough because they've given us so much to enjoy in the legacy of their life that we need to celebrate them more for achievers of our joy, achievers of our entertainment, achievers in the moments that made us who we were. A lot of us grew up on them. A lot of us were shaped in cores and values in life by their existence, by their roles. James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader and was the antithesis of what an evil dark side is, but he also brought balance back by coming back to the light side of the Force. But he was the father figure for many in The Lion King. Think of the lessons he taught so many young men about who they are, what they are, and what life should be. Just a cartoon, an animation, yet a message that echoes throughout generations to this day. Michael Keaton, he is also another one of the actors. I've watched him in movies like Clean and Sober, Batman, Mr. Mom. He has tons of movies that I've watched him in. Each movie he has the ability to be a different entity, a different person in every one of those roles, and I celebrate him as a strong force still in the acting world. And I loved him in the latest installment of Batman before the universe of DC was changed by James Gunn. I loved seeing him don the 1989 Batsuit once again, and I enjoyed seeing him don the Beetlejuice suit again. So for no other reason than just seeing him don this role again, Halls, he has my distinguished honor of this movie being a platinum. I give him the rights, royalties, and respect for being able to, for over 3 decades, take something back off the shelf and jumping back into a role that he hasn't portrayed in some time. And he did it with force, he did it with respect, and he didn't phone in his presentation. He didn't phone in his acting. He went all out. And there was a few scenes where there was a glimpse of sadness in his eyes. And I don't know if it was the actor Michael Keaton portraying this for the audience, or whether or not it was him as an actor feeling that this could have been his last go around in this role. But I definitely felt it. And I enjoyed the presence of Mr. Keaton one more time as Beetlejuice. I think enough of our classically trained older actors who pick up the mantle one more time deserve a round of applause, and they deserve to be amplified and respected, because these younger actors, these younger producers, these younger movie makers, they don't get some of the doors that these actors had to open, kick down, push down, and force down so that these roles could be made ready available for them now. Beetlejuice on somebody's mind may have just been a sequel that they saw money for, but for Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Michael Keaton, Jenna Ortega, William Dafoe, Monica Bellucci, these actors are strong, powerful actors who have been above projects like Beetlejuice in their career for years. So the fact that they decided to go back and pick up the mantle from something they did earlier in their career and redo it and decide to put effort into it, it makes me proud as a movie patron to see that some people still get that their audience is respected. Because there's some people who do movies, and when they're asked to do a sequel or come back for it to represent, who made them a star, they just blow it off like, I'm bigger than that now. Like, I'm not about that life no more. I'm above that. They forget their fans made them. They forget their fans made who they are. And it was nice to see that the cast of this whole ensemble cast, because there were some new people in here, but it was nice to see the original cast on board to do it again. And I just wish I could have been on set, or I wish there's a featurette when it comes out on DVD that shows the behind scenes of these cast and these characters, because there is a level of intensity and a level of respect and a level of just hair tingling feelings seeing these characters, our beloved characters, doing these characters that we enjoyed them so much in one more time. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So for none other than that premise and that thought process, I give Beetlejuice a platinum. The story may not have been what I wanted. It may have been a little bit down at times. It may have been a little less than glaring. But to see my favorite actors back in their roles again, doing what they did over 3 decades ago. Over 3 decades ago. Most of y'all don't have cars that old. Most of y'all don't have kids that old. Most of y'all don't have anything in your house that old. And yet they stepped back into these roles. They were asked to. I know they were probably paid handsomely for it. It's not lost on me. But they were asked to jump back into these roles, and they did it. And they have my utmost respect and admiration for it. Catherine O'Hara being one of my favorites. Looking at her in this movie, she has longevity and life still in her career. Michael Keaton does as well. So does Winona Ryder. Jenna Ortega is up and coming, and I hope she learned by working next to the likes of classically trained, strong actors who have decades of experience. And William Dafoe as well. Even if he is the Goblin. He's the Goblin we want and deserve, not the Goblin we need. He's the one we want. So, ladies and gentlemen, this movie had twists and turns, fun points, low points, high points. I didn't like that they brought on Monica Bellucci as this strong, soul-sucking person. And by the way, I'm not going to forget you, Danny DeVito. I know that was you in the beginning of this movie. Nobody talks about it, nobody says it, but I know you were the janitor at the beginning of this movie. I saw you from behind and knew who it was. And you being a no stranger to Tim Burton movies because you were the Penguin in Batman 2. So it's funny that you and Keaton from Batman, another Burton endeavor, were also in this together. I wish I could have had a conversation or heard a conversation between both of you guys on the set in this. That was awesome too. So I didn't forget about DeVito. Did not forget about DeVito. The movie, I didn't like. She was supposed to be this big bad, and then, you know, it's a bait and switch because she's not the big bad. Turns out Beetlejuice is the big bad. Even Astrid's boyfriend, who turns out to be dead, who wants her soul to trade so that he can live and she can die, and she's supposed to take his place on the soul train. He's not the big bad because they're both destroyed by a sandworm, which ironically Beetlejuice was destroyed by a sandworm at the end of the first movie back in the day. So they're not gone, they're still there. So there was room for an improvement. The baby scene at the end, that was a little bit over, a little bit extra. I don't know if you guys were looking for another movie sequel. Maybe you do. I don't know if anybody's on board for it. I mean, that Beverly Hills Cop movie definitely showed that there's still life left in a lot of these movie franchises. And I'm glad because, you know, these are the franchises I grew up with. But the movie itself, like I said, is it the best movie in the world? No. But there was such nostalgic feeling and energy for seeing these crew do it again. And they filmed it with a lot of practical effects as the way they did the first movie. So it feels like they're in the same universe. It feels like if you watch Beetlejuice 1 and Beetlejuice 2, you feel like they could exist in the same universe very easily, which is great because that synergy makes it feel cohesive as a story. Having said that, a lot of the animated series, Beetlejuice the animated series, was in here. There was a lot of things that, and I was a fan of the animated series. There was a lot of things that I caught as Easter eggs in here where I was like, that's right from the Neither Realm from the animated series. And then there was other things that happened. I'm like, that's from the series. That's from the animated series. So clearly there was fandom and attention paid to this project as fans of the project. And I like that because that makes the endeavor so much better when people care about what they're doing. They're not just cash grabbing. So yeah, all in all, Beetlejuice was a fun, good time. I expected more, but that's just me wanting more. There were a couple of dark scenes in it that were clearly bloody, which was more than I expected from Beetlejuice. There were a few F-bombs. There was an F-bomb in the original. You know what? You know, never mind, scratch that. Because there was an F-bomb in the middle when he says, nice effing model. Bum, bum. I just remembered that. So never mind, scratch that one from the record. There was F-bombs in the original. So never mind. Scratch that. Do the Chandler thing. I'll scratch that. But yeah, so it's worth to watch. It's worth to watch. It's worth to sit down and do it. I can't say it's glaring for kids. There are some things that happen in here you might have to explain to your kids. I can't say everybody's going to be on board with the Soul Train scene. It may be cut, may not be cut. Time will tell how that's received. But the movie as a whole, pretty good. Catherine O'Hara's character, Delia, was killed off, sadly, in the end. So if there is a subsequent sequel to this, I do not know if she will be brought back because they didn't bring the Maitlands back because their story was ended. Why would they bring her back and Charles back when they're together in the afterlife? They would not bring them back. Beetlejuice, I can see him keep going. Jenna Ortega as Astrid, she fit well into this universe, but at times it felt like she was too bright for this universe. Lydia is a very dark person. William Dafoe is a very dark person. There were a bunch of other characters that are very dark. Beetlejuice is a very dark person. They're very, and I don't mean dark as in darkly drawn. I mean, there's a very hue to them that is very dark. Even though Ortega played Wednesday Addams, she had a dark hue to that. In this, she seems like the light amidst the rest of these characters. And at times it doesn't seem like it fits. Her not believing her mom sees ghosts, that's just weird. I don't get that. Especially with all the things that she's been through. Her mom going through the exact same situation that she went through with Delia. I did like the generational drawback and callback there. Mother saving daughter, saving daughter at the cost of the mother. I kind of wish all three of them had been alive and together in the end. But movies got a movie, yo. I'm okay with that. The sandworm, for some reason, seemed a little bit more cartoony than he did before. Some of the people were animated, but I did like that Beetlejuice, every time he was on screen, I couldn't take my eyes off of Michael Keaton. He was just absolutely wonderful. He brought the same intensity to the same character that he did decades ago, and I did enjoy that. So, and all in all, I have to give it a platinum because it was a good experience. It could have been better, but as a sequel to a film over 3 decades ago, it's way better than I expected. Like Beverly Hills Cop, it's a pleasant, refreshing surprise to see a sequel to a movie so long ago be predominantly very well and very well received by the public. So 2 thumbs up, Snoogan. So I am going to jump back on my popcorn and some Gatorade and jump into another review because I have one more for today, and that is The Crow. And not looking forward to this review. Not looking forward at all. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me here in the Game Dojo. I love you. I love all of you guys. Thank you for making my channel what it is. And thank you for joining me for another beautiful, fun review. This was Beetlejuice. Yeah, I said the name 4 times, so I might as well say it again. Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton is always invited here. Show up, buddy. I got you. The next popcorn is on me. It's Act 2, brother. Looks like I'm next. Save that guy for later. I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves.